Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope we're all doing very, very well. Today, we're going to be previewing the Panathinaikos game, which is taking place tomorrow evening. Well, it's actually late afternoon if you're in the UK, around 5:45 UK time. And we're going to go through everything. What's going to happen with regards to the lineups? What's going to happen with regards to the lineups, who should play, who should not play, and who are we actually playing against? What do we know about this team, this Greek team, Panathinaikos, that we are playing against? So we're going to dive into all those different things. And listen, we're going to get everything that we can through in this stream. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. I'll answer them. Also, thumbs up on the video, please. We've got 30 people to start off the stream. Can we get straight up to 30 likes on the stream? So smash the thumbs up. Let me know how many likes we're on as well, guys, because I can't actually see. And without further ado, let's get started. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be going to Greece. So this will certainly be one hell of an atmosphere. And one thing that we know about Greek teams in particular, they do not hold back. They do not hold back whatsoever. So what can we expect? We have to expect a fiery atmosphere. We have to expect the home crowd to be extremely intimidating. I could expect flares, a lot of unity within the crowd. But, you know, we've got to talk about who we're playing against as well, and the actual football side of things. So to start off, I just want to talk about Panathinaikos, and then we're going to go on to Chelsea as well. So let me just share my screen with you. Right. So Panathinaikos, this is their record in recent games. Okay, this is to give you an idea of the type of form we are up against in this team. And to be honest with you, it's not great, is it? Let's be honest. It's actually quite poor. Now, I would have thought Panathinaikos, being one of the bigger teams in Greece, would have actually won pretty much every game they've played, especially domestically. But they drew against Athens. They drew against PAOK. They did beat Panathinaikos. They lost to AEK. They drew against Borak, Olympiakos, another draw, and they only narrowly beat Offi 1-0. So I'm not looking at this with... I mean, we've got to smash these guys. We've got to smash these guys. Now, they clearly have a better record at home than away from home. You can see when they are at home that they're more likely to pick up wins. They've got a couple of clean sheets in there as well. But overall, pretty underwhelming. I would have expected much, much more from this team. And I don't see how we lose this game, to be totally honest with you. I can't see us losing this game. I think we're going to absolutely smash them. Whether that be on the scoreline is another thing, but I think we dominate. That's the main thing. We dominate possession. We control the play. We create the majority of the chances, because Panathinaikos, they can't even win every game in their own league. So what, you think they're going to come out and beat Chelsea? But you never know. I mean, atmosphere is everything sometimes, especially in European games. We look at Red Star Belgrade, for example, a team that are far worse than a lot of the other teams in terms of Champions League football when they've been there. I remember they played Liverpool at one time. I think they actually beat Liverpool. And that was the atmosphere, I think, makes a huge, huge difference. So we can't completely brush them off. We have to take them seriously. But at the same time, look at the record that I'm looking at and tell me that it's pretty bad. I expected more from them. So that's a good sign for Chelsea. And I think we need to look at that and take some positives from it as well. Big up to Father. I hope you're doing very well, mate. I hope you're doing very well. Who else is in the chat? Let's see. Who is here? We've got Daniel. Would you rotate or go strong on Thursday? I'm going to go through the lineups as well. So we can definitely do that. 3-1 to Chelsea, Daniel says. 4-0, Tejas says. 2-0 Chelsea. Cover. Big up to Emma. I hope you're doing very well. I do not know why Mudryk didn't make the squad. We will have to wait for Maresca to make his press conference, and then we can go through it from there. Okay, perfect. So, Panathinaikos, their record's not looking too good. Now, do they have anything that will threaten us? The God honest truth, I don't know. I have not watched... I haven't watched a lot of Greek football, to be honest with you. I mean, George is saying that 0-0 away to the champions, PAOK, isn't a bad result. No, that's fair. But I'm just saying that I would have thought they would have had a better record domestically. And from what I'm seeing, they've actually dropped a lot of points. I'm not sure how many points they had up for grabs, but they've certainly dropped more than I would have expected. That's all I mean. But with the Chelsea side of things, I mean, let's start off in goal. Because this is the first piece of controversy, you could say, or a real talking point. Jorgensen, I don't think is going to be available for this one. He is, I think he's picked up a small injury, so he will not be available for this match, which means most likely we're going to have Robert Sanchez in goal, unless Maresca is going to decide to take a risk on Bettinelli, which I don't think is going to be happening anytime soon. But what I do think that we need to try and appreciate is that Sanchez is getting a run out. Yeah. And although a lot of people don't like the guy, I certainly have my questions. I don't fully trust Robert Sanchez. I'm in the same boat as a lot of you watching. But I do believe it's important for players to have run outs, because if a player plays over a month and has a few bad games, I think it's very different to playing over 6 months and having bad games over that period. It's all about confidence in football. If the manager gives you confidence as a player, I think that that actually helps. I really do. There's some players that still won't perform, but there's others who their level will gradually improve because they know that they have that trust from the manager, and that confidence shines through, and they perform for that reason. But I would have liked to have seen Jorgensen. I mean, personally, I prefer him in these games especially. But yeah, it looks like we're going to have Robert Sanchez in goal. So there you go on that side. Then we go to left back. Now, Vega did come on against Liverpool, and he looked pretty good, to be honest with you. I think he made a better impact than even I thought after the game. I didn't expect Vega to make a massive difference, but I think that he was solid. Yeah, I think he was solid. I think he's one of those players similar to what we had with Aspie. You don't necessarily get 10s out of 10s every week, but I don't think he dips below a 6. So I always know what I'm going to get from him, which I think is really good. So I think we're probably going to see Vega starting in this game on the left-hand side. If anyone has any disputes about that, let me know in the comments, but I think it makes sense. Cucurella has been out, but again, Vega's not played that many minutes against Liverpool, so I think he's going to be absolutely fine to start. Keep Cucurella in the Premier League when his suspension is over, because it was only a 1-game ban, if I'm not wrong, because there's totally different rules. If you get a straight red, you get banned for, I think, 3 games. 2 or 3 games, but if it's accumulated yellow cards, then you are just banned for 1 game. So Cucurella should be available for the next one, which is good news in that sense. Then we go to the right side. I want to go straight to right back. Now, Reece James started ahead of Malagusto on the right, but Gusto was shifted onto the left side. Now, I don't think anyone expected this, to be quite honest. And it's interesting as well, because we just had the news yesterday from Josh Achimpong, that he's frustrated. He's not getting the minutes. That's probably why he's not signing a new contract. And for those of you who haven't watched that video, I can dive into that a little bit, but we'll do that later on. I think it's fairly simple. Malagusto is going to be starting on that right-hand side. Listen, he is not a left back, so get off his back. Like, you should not expect a right back to play as well as he does on the right, on the left. This is just basic stuff. Oh, Don't say that, Bruno. Don't say that. Please don't say that. No, I don't want to see Disasi there. Absolutely not. And if that is the reason that Josh Achimpong doesn't want to sign a new deal because Disasi is starting ahead of him at right back, I say fair play to the man. But there's more to it than that. I don't think that's the main decision. But yeah, Malo Gusto on the right-hand side. Listen, it's not been his best season. He's not been crap. I don't see why people say he's been terrible. People have come on stream and said that to me. Disasi has been horrendous this season. No, he's not been horrendous. He's not been as good as he was. He was so good last year. It's very hard to look at Malo Gusto and say more than 5 bad games, even more than 3. Like, he was solid. And when you look at players like Cole Palmer, who dragged us through when we weren't playing well, I also look at Malo Gusto and see a player who generally outshot a lot of the players he played with. So yeah, Malo Gusto on the right for me. George, I'm playing Vega on the left. All right, Vega on the left. I've gone through the left side. So we're having Malo Gusto on the right-hand side. Now, we move into the middle of the park. Centre-back. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting because Fofana's certainly not in the squad, so he's certainly not going to be available. We saw Tosin against Liverpool. We saw Badiashile, and we got Levi Colwill and Disasi. So those are our options. Colwell's not going to start this game, right? He's played 90 minutes against Liverpool. I think we can all agree that there's an A team and a B team at Chelsea at the moment. Colwill is our key centre-back, number 1 on the list. Yeah, undroppable at this moment in time. You don't play anyone ahead of Levi Colwill. If you disagree with that, I would struggle to understand why. But listen, hey, maybe you know something I don't. The question is, who do we play next to Levi Colwill? And for me, it's actually really tough. It is really tough because if you're going on squad morale, keeping players happy, you probably give Disasi minutes, don't you? If you go based on what you've done in the past, you go with Tosin. And if you go based on what you saw against Liverpool, you go with Badiashile. So 3 different options, 3 different reasons. I'd love to know what you think in the chat about this. I mean, who would you start? Would you start Disasi? Would you start Tosin or Badiashile? Who for you is the right player to have in this position? Me personally, for this game, I am going to just go straight out there. I'm going to say Badiashile. Okay, for me, if you don't have a chance to show what you're worth on a regular basis, and then you do get a chance, and you take that chance with flying colours, then you deserve a start. Yeah, and sometimes that's over a couple of games. Sometimes that could just be one. Now, because this is a Europa Conference League match, I think that Badiashile is more than capable of playing in this game. So I'm 100% certain that Badiashile is going to play in this game. I'm absolutely certain that he's going to play, and he deserves to. He really, really deserves to. I think that the impact he made against Liverpool was absolutely fantastic. The one thing that he did that you could see a clear difference between him and Tosin, probably 2 things as well. First of all, he had Darwin Núñez in his pocket. Badiashile was all over it. Yeah, it was fantastic. Second of all, he was passing the ball so quickly, and it was a clear difference to what you saw with Tosin, who was just very slow. He thought he had loads of time on the ball. And to be fair, he did. We weren't getting pressed very hard. But the point is, even if a team's sitting back, you need to press. You need to pass the ball quickly. If the ball's going slowly, it's really easy for the opponent, if it's a low block, for example, to adjust. So you just got to get the ball around quicker. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff, but a lot of players don't do it. I think Badiashile did a great job of that. So yeah, for me, I'm picking Badiashile in there. And we know that Levi Colwill isn't going to start on Thursday. So who plays next to Badiashile? All right, Badiashile's first choice for me. I'm going to go with Disasi, to be honest with you. I am going to go with Disasi. Tosin had a start against Liverpool, and he wasn't great. So I don't know how that warrants a start in this game. I know that Tosin's been one of the first names on the on the team sheet for the Thursday nights and the cup games. I think Disasi deserves a chance to play in his natural position. He's not a right back. He's a centre back. Let's see how he plays in this intimidating atmosphere. It's going to be a very hostile game in Greece. And let's see if he can shine. Yeah, because like Badiashile, I mean, Badiashile, we all wrote him off. I know I did. If you saw the Real Madrid game, that stupid goal we conceded with Badiashile, it was horrendous. The guy didn't even run for it. So I never thought we would see Badiashile again because I didn't think he was good enough. Yeah, I'd like to see Badiashile and Disasi partnering up. They've got support around them with Vega and Gusto as well, who I think are very reliable on the flanks. But yeah, it's up to them to perform in that centre role. If we don't get a good performance from Disasi, then I want to see Tosin start every other game ahead of him. But Badiashile, I think, will probably continue to see on that left-hand side because he is left-footed as well. It's always nice to have a left-footed and a right-footed centre-back pairing, like you see with Colwell and Fofana. So, just to reiterate, we've got Sanchez in goal, Vega on the left, Gusto on the right, with Badiashile partnered up with Disasi in defence. Now, who do we play in midfield? Who starts in midfield for you guys? Now, if you watched the video I put out earlier about Enzo Fernandez, then maybe you're on the same wavelength as me, or you might completely disagree. In my opinion, you play Enzo Fernandez in the number 6, and I'm going to explain why. Why should we play Enzo Fernandez in the 6? Okay, right. Let me share my screen again. Because I know this is quite a sensitive debate for some people. They seem to think that just because we paid a lot of money for a player means we should constantly start him in the biggest games. Can we not agree that Enzo Fernandez has been underwhelming? Can we not agree with that? Yeah, he has not been good enough this season. He has not been good enough. Yeah, and this is not entirely his fault. So please understand what I'm saying. I am not saying that Fernandez is a bad player. I think he's a great player. But he is only great in one position. He is not versatile. He cannot play as a number 8, which is what Maresca has been doing. He certainly can't play as a 10, which is what Pochettino tried to do. Now we're running out of options here. He's not going to play as a striker. He's not a winger. He's not going to play in your back line. So there's only one position left. Number 6. He has to sit in front of those defenders. Who remembers who left when Enzo Fernandez came in? Jorginho, yeah, who we sold to Arsenal. What was Jorginho's role? His role was to sit in front of the back line, orchestrate and dictate the play. Now, he was a little bit more defensively sound than Enzo Fernandez. I completely agree with that. You know, he wasn't as good at passing the ball as Fernandez. He certainly didn't have his range of passing or the ability to spread the play. Jorginho actually never did that. But he was very good at controlling things. And I think Fernandez on the ball is that is his strength, is controlling and dictating the play. The further up the pitch you put Fernandez, I think the more you take away from what he's actually good at, which is progressing the ball up the pitch. If you have Fernandez in that deep lying role and we're going short on goal kicks, I think Fernandez is a great player to have the ball if Sanchez is looking to go short. Just like Lavia, for example, slightly different. Lavia is more of a dribbler, isn't he? And he's got that low center of gravity, but Fernandez is more than capable of hitting the ball first time for another player to run onto or whatever it is. He's very, very skilled on the ball. And we haven't seen a single game with Enzo Fernandez playing as a 6. Every single game he's been played out of position. Every single game. Yeah. If he's playing next to Caicedo and playing slightly further up, he is out of position because Caicedo is sitting. Caicedo is literally doing what Enzo Fernandez should be doing if you want to get the best out of Enzo Fernandez. Yeah. And this is the problem. Enzo Fernandez is not as good as Lavia in that position as a number 6, and he's not as good as Caicedo. He is not as good in that position. On the ball, he's absolutely fantastic. Although you could argue maybe Lavia is slightly better at dribbling. But on the ball, Fernandez is brilliant. Nobody can take away from his qualities. It's off the ball where he lets us down. And he makes the players around him have to work harder because of his lack of pace, he doesn't win enough 50-50s, let's be honest. And defensively, it just isn't all that. So we have a player who is really, really good at one or two things, but lets us down in other departments. And then you have midfielders like Lavia and Caicedo, who are just all-rounders. They're good at multiple things. People speak about creativity. I argued with Lewis and Matt Dav after the Brighton game because they thought Enzo Fernandez was fantastic. I went, yeah, well, he did some good passes. I'm not denying that, but I don't think he was amazing. I don't think he was that good. So, yeah, for me, Enzo Fernandez, he doesn't start ahead of Lavia and Caicedo in the Premier League anymore. So Thursday night, this is his chance to prove himself and make that number 6 position his. Maybe this can be the catalyst to turn everything around and actually play a player in his rightful position. Take ownership of it. This is your position, Enzo. But listen, if you're going to play as an 8, I don't want to see you because you're not good enough in that position. This is all to do with the manager as well. So remember, this is not Enzo hate. This is facts. He is not a number 8. I know his number is 8, but he's not good in that position. According to Daniel, we're on 17 likes, guys. We've got over 40 of you in the stream. Can we just smash the like buttons, please? It makes a huge difference. I really appreciate it as well. Big up to everyone in the chat. Yes, I know Lavia is not in the Conference League squad. The comparisons isn't to do with the Conference League. I'm leading up to it, okay? So what have we established? We have established that when it comes to the number 6 position, Caicedo will play ahead of Enzo Fernandez. So will Lavia. So you are forced to play Enzo as an 8 because of that. I understand why Enzo Maresca is doing it. But it doesn't work. It does not work. What you would be better off doing, in my opinion, if you really wanted to squeeze him in, and if you drop Lavia or Caicedo, is you play Fernandez in the 6 and maybe Caicedo as an 8. Because at least Caicedo can go box to box and he has the pace and the durability to break up counter-attacks and come forward. And don't tell me he doesn't have range of passing because Caicedo's got a great pass on him. I would love to see Chukwuemeka get a run out as well, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen as well. For some reason, Maresca just doesn't rate the guy. But if Enzo continues to perform the way he has been, then maybe there's a chance for Chukwuemeka. But before him, I think we'll probably end up seeing Dewsbury Hall. So I want to see Enzo Fernandez start this game against Panathinaikos in the number 6. And I want him to show what he can do. Maybe against the bigger teams, this will never, ever work because you always need defensive stability. But when you are against teams you know you're going to dominate against, then you might be able to take that risk and just have a player who you know can play ball. You're going to have a lot of it. So allow Enzo to do what he does. So for me, Enzo Fernandez in the 6, sitting against Panathinaikos. And next to Enzo Fernandez, Chukwuemeka would be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to see Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall in the 8. So think of it like this. You've got Enzo Fernandez doing essentially what Caicedo, playing in that position, the same position Caicedo's been playing in for the majority of the season, and then Dewsbury Hall playing where Enzo has been playing. But the only difference is you've got a player in Kieran Dewsbury Hall. That is his position. Yeah. And even if he's not as good as Enzo, if you put Enzo on the wing, guess what? He's probably not going to be as good as Mudryk. Does that mean Enzo Fernandez is a worse player than Mudryk? No. Mudryk is a winger. Enzo is not. And it's exactly the same with this number 8 position. Dewsbury Hall, this is his rightful position. This is where he played at Leicester. He knows the system already. He knows what Maresca wants from him. I think that Dewsbury Hall has consistently improved since he's come in. Over the past couple of games when he started, I thought he was shaky when we started against Barrow, but I thought he grew into that game really well. And I thought he was shaky when he started against Ghent as well, but he grew into it. So every game, he starts off a little bit nervous and then just kicks into gear. And he got a goal the other day as well against Ghent, didn't he? So what does that tell you? You want a player who can run into the box and score goals? You're asking Enzo Fernandez to do that? Dewsbury Hall, that is what he's good at. Yeah, so I want to see Dewsbury Hall. I think Dewsbury Hall is actually going to be a much more important player for us than many people think. He is going to be so key to this Chelsea side, not only because of where he is going to be playing and that positional sense. I mean, he's not got an awful lot of competition if he's competing with Enzo, for that spot, because I think Dewsbury Hall is more suited to it, but also because he is going to improve more and more and more. He's such an underrated player. He's brilliant. He is brilliant, and I think people are going to see that. Although they haven't just yet. But if you ask me, I'll start Dewsbury Hall next to Enzo in that midfield. And I think we will have a really, really good time there because he's the legs. Enzo has got the quality and the technique to control things and dictate. I think that is a key to success in this match. So let's reiterate. Who do we have? We have in goal, Robert Sanchez, Vega at left back, Gusto right back, Badiashile partnered up with Disasi in the middle, Enzo Fernandez sitting just in front as a number 6 with Dewsbury Hall in the number 8 role. So we move on to the wing. Who plays on the left side of the wing? Let me know in the chat, guys. Who do you play on the left? Yeah. Do you play Mudryk? Do you play Neto? Do you play Nkunku? Do you play Jackson? Felix? All players that can play in that position. Jadon Sancho as well. Let me know what you think, guys. Cover says Micha and Neto. Coco doesn't agree with what I'm saying about Enzo Fernandez. It may not work because our team is not settled yet. We need more mobile midfielders who need to cover mistakes until the team is settled. I agree with you, but we don't have enough midfielders that can do what needs to be done. And look, I'm all for seeing Chukwuemeka instead of maybe Dewsbury Hall, right? That's an upgrade. Chukwuemeka is a better player, but Maresca doesn't like him. So we've also got to be realistic with these predictions. I want to know that actually, if I'm picking a player, is he really going to start? Like if I said Mark Guiu is going to start, would you believe me? You probably wouldn't, yeah, because he's not going to start ahead of Nkunku. But yeah, Daniel said Mudryk will start. I think he can cook. Yeah, Mudryk on the left for starters. So I think we're all in agreement there. Mudryk on the left-hand side, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I don't know why he didn't play against Liverpool. I know one or two people have asked that. I genuinely don't know. I'm not 100% sure why. I'll see if I can find something while we're on here, but I haven't heard anything as of yet. The only thing that I can think of is Maresca just didn't see him playing in this game. Or maybe he was tired after the international break, like he just wanted a rest or something like that. You know, Maresca does tend to take care of his players as well. So maybe he had a word with Mudryk and said, listen, I'm going to sit you out for this one. You need a little bit of a break. But who knows? These are all hypotheticals. Right. So Mudryk on the left-hand side. What are we going to get from this guy? I would love to see Mudryk score in Greece. I would love nothing more. We have a player who's so fast, he can't keep up with his own feet. His feet move like this, and his brain just can't seem to keep up. But he is improving. He scored a goal for Ukraine when he was away. seems to be improving under Maresca. And I think that, to be honest, I think Mudryk would have improved under Poch if he was given half a chance. But he would score in one game coming off the bench, and then he'd get dropped. I was like, how are you supposed to develop a player when you do not give him a run out of games? And that's why European football is so important, because we now have an excuse not to play some players in the Premier League, knowing that we can still give them minutes. And that is a beautiful thing. And Conference League is a blessing in disguise. I know a lot of people think it's not a serious competition, and we can all agree that we should be winning the trophy. But it's a competition that helps us massively, because it gives us a genuine reason to have all the depth that we have, so we can utilize it. So I think Mudryk, in this game, what do I want to see? I want to see him controlling the tempo. I want to see him getting involved. I know Maresca likes the wingers to hug the touchline, but I would like to see Mudryk try and come inside and almost get into that number 10 position at times, because I think when he cuts in on his right foot, he can have a cracking shot, and I'd like to see him shoot more. That's one thing that Mudryk can do that I never see from Jadon Sancho, and I don't think I ever will see from Jadon Sancho. Is Sancho is really a creator, isn't he? That's what he likes to do. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't have much of an interest in scoring goals, from what I've seen in a Chelsea shirt, which is fine, because he complements Madueke on the other side, who's a total opposite. But I think it's good to have a bit of balance on the left as well, and have a player who can cut in and have a crack. And I think Mudryk needs to do that more. Trust himself, be confident, but play smart. If Mudryk does anything stupid in this game, it will really annoy me, because when you are playing against a team who you know you're going to dominate possession against, we are going to have the ball for large periods. Be smart with how you use it, but don't be scared. Find that balance. So for me, this is a really important game for Mudryk. I want to see a goal or an assist from him in this game. And even if we don't, I want to see a performance. This is a game he should be grabbing by the scruff of the neck. We're finally starting to have some trust in this player. Don't let us down. Don't let Maresca down, because he's the one who's given you the platform to actually improve. So I'm sure Mudryk will be looking to do good things in this game. So Mudryk on the left. Who are we playing on the right-hand side? Who are we going to play on the right wing? Are we looking at Neto? Is everyone in agreement with that? I think Neto is a pretty obvious choice. Daniel says, if we win the Conference League, we would have won every single European trophy. If we win it, we go into the Europa League. Don't be talking about Europa League, Daniel. Champions League. We need that anthem back. I miss that anthem. But yes, we will still get into the Europa League. That's right. But domestically, we should be good enough to do this. Even if we don't get top 4, we can still get Champions League football by finishing 5th. Depending on how the English teams do in Europe, which I think we will perform very well. I think that the English teams will do considerably well. I mean, look at Arsenal, look at Aston Villa. They both got results the other day. I think Liverpool will be good. Man City as well. So because of those teams in Europe, I think they'll almost help Chelsea if we do struggle to finish in the top 4. But that's a later conversation for December, for January. If we can get through that period without loads of injuries, then brilliant. But I mean, this is also another thing. Like, look at the amount of players we have who can get injured like that, and it changes everything, doesn't it? What if Palmer gets injured? Neto's injury prone. Fofana's injury prone. Reece James. There's a Lavia. So that there are a lot of players who could just drop at any moment, and it could change everything. So I don't want to sit here and say I know we're going to get top 4. I am confident, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. In January, if we don't have any injuries, then I will. because I think with a fully fit squad, we are just brilliant. We have great depth. Daniel agrees with me. So does English Roots. Neto needs to start. Benjamin says, up the Chelsea, safe travels tonight with my mate Cam. Big up to you, Benjamin. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually flying to Greece tonight. I'm working from... What time am I working? I'm working 4 till 9, and then we're having some food at my house. After that, around sort of 1 a.m., I'm getting a train to London, and I'm hanging out in Gatwick. I think it's Gatwick Airport for a couple of hours until my flight, which is at about 4 a.m. So wish me luck. Thanks for that, Benjamin. I appreciate it. But yeah, back to what I was saying about Neto. This is a player who should have done more. If you look at what he did at Wolves and what we expected when we first signed him, we could actually agree that he's probably been a player who has underwhelmed us at times. But the one thing I would always say to defend him is the games he has played, especially Barrow and Ghent, are the two most memorable games. He got goals. He scored goals in those games, and I'm sure he must have had an assist as well at some point. So it's not like he's not making an impact. The problem is these are just moments, yeah? Now, if you're a striker like Nkunku, it's a little bit different because ultimately as a striker, you're paid to score goals. And that's why I don't have a problem with a Nicholas Jackson against Liverpool. People are saying he wasn't good enough. The guy scored. Yeah, Liverpool have only conceded 3 goals this season and he scored one of them. So what are you talking about? He's a striker who scored a goal. Isn't that what strikers are supposed to do? Now, if you're on the wing, like Neto, you've got to do a little bit more than that. How are you defensively? What's your work rate? Are you creating? Are you linking up well? Are you making the players around you better? Now, I think that Neto struggled a little bit at times. I do think that he offers something totally different to what we get from our other wingers. I think he's the most energetic winger that we have. I wouldn't say necessarily the most technical, although he's certainly competent, isn't he? But what Neto has is this fearlessness to just drive at players. And it's not like Madueke, who's a supreme dribbler. Yeah, Madueke is a dribbler, isn't he? He likes doing tricks. Neto doesn't mess around like that. He knocks the ball forward and just comes at you, which I think is brilliant at times. Sometimes you need that intensity, especially like against Liverpool. I thought when he came on alongside Badia Shield, 2 players that made a brilliant impact in that game. And Neto certainly deserves a start in this game. If we see another performance from him on Thursday, I think there is a real conversation to be had about him starting in the Premier League as well over Madueke. And that's my thoughts on it. I just think that, yeah, sometimes when you get a new signing in, it takes a little bit of time for them to settle, but it's only a couple of months. I mean, it's still quite quick in the grand scheme of things. Some players, you look at Mudryk, it's taken him years. And now we're saying, oh, he's starting to improve. So, yeah, big up to Neto. I think he'll start in this game. Be really interesting to see how he plays on that right-hand side. I would have liked to have seen him on the left as well, because I think Neto is actually really good on the left. But because Mudryk can't play on the right, you've almost got to compensate, haven't you? And play Pedro Neto on the other side. Right. So we got Mudryk on the left, Neto on the right-hand side. Who are we playing in the number 10? Who are we playing there? I think most people will think the same thing. I think that it's going to be a no-brainer. João Felix is starting this game as a number 10. Palmer's not in the squad. This is Felix's time to actually get minutes. He's never going to start ahead of Cole Palmer in any game that Palmer's available to play in and wants to play in. But, yeah, what are your thoughts on João Felix so far at Chelsea, guys? And do you think that he's been good enough? Do you think he is good enough? And what does he bring to this team that you like? Because I've had a lot of debates about with people like Charlie, for example. Certain people don't think that he was an upgrade on what we have. I completely disagree. I think he's a massive upgrade on what we had. If we look at when we actually signed him. I mean, we had Sterling and then we brought in Felix. Now, I say straight away that's an upgrade because I despise Sterling and I think he's a horrible player who's just terrible. Also, look at the money that you're paying. We're paying less for Felix than we were for Sterling. And he came into this team knowing that he was not going to start every week. You have to understand that he's not an idiot. Yeah, I mean, if he genuinely did think he was going to start ahead of Cole Palmer, fair play. Like, at least you're confident. But as a rotation option, I think he's a great player to have. He took a pay cut to come to Chelsea. He scored a fantastic goal against Wolves. But I have to agree with what a lot of you are saying in the chat as well. He has been quite disappointing if you're looking at it from a consistency point of view. But he's had good moments as well, hasn't he? He scored against Barrow. He scored that free kick. He scored against Wolves. And I'm sure he's had a couple of assists as well. Yeah, but the problem is you want to see that every week, don't you? And if he's playing every Thursday and he's only good for one of those Thursdays, then that's a real problem. Because if you're not going to be able to do it in the Conference League on a Thursday night, how are you going to do it consistently in the Premier League? Which takes me back to my point, if Cole Palmer gets injured, for example, like, what do we do? So, yeah, I mean, let's see what you're all saying. Danzino says he deserves more game time. I wish João Felix can start some big games. He's technically very good to assist Nicholas Jackson. I don't think anyone can dispute João Felix's technical ability. I think we can all agree he's got great technical ability. That's not the problem. It's the consistency in terms of performance. Just because you can do some great flicks and do some cool skills, is that enough to start for Chelsea? I think we need a little bit more, guys. I'll be honest with you. Also, guys, we've got almost 50 of you in the live right now. Can we get this video up to 40 likes? Can we get this video up to 40 likes? Smash the like button. Let's get this up to 40 likes. How many likes are we on as well, guys? How many likes have we got in the building? Can we get up to 40? Ideally, I'd like to see if we can get up to 50 likes on this live. We're working our way up there, people. We're working our way up there. Let me know how many likes we have. Felix should have been brought on at Anfield. Palmer was just kept on for that potential magic moment. Well, don't you think it's worth waiting for that potential moment, no cover? I mean, he's only the best player in the Premier League. He's only the best player in the whole team. But I do agree that Palmer should have been put onto the right-hand side. And then Nkunku should have been put just behind Nicholas Jackson. I agree with that. But Palmer is worth investing in. He is a player worth having in the number 10 at all times because he's that good. But for that particular Liverpool game, I think we can all agree he was slightly isolated at times, and Liverpool just did a fantastic job defending him. We've got to give credit to Van Dijk and Konate. They did a very good job. And it's not easy. You've got Gravenberch as well. There were very clear instructions from Arne Slot for how to defend Cole Palmer. So if we would have put him on the right-hand side, that would have probably helped. I do agree. But listen, sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say, you know what? Liverpool are a great team. And we're getting there. We are certainly getting there. If you watch the vlog, guys, you can see the last 2 minutes of that game. Listen to the whistles in the stadium. You do not get that unless you are respected as a football club, and unless the players on the pitch make the opposition fearful that we can do something. So Liverpool respect us, and that is a much, much better situation to be in than what we were last season, even though we lost. Listen, we lost 2-1 last season. We lost 4-1. I'm not saying we were twice as good, but we were. We were probably 4 times as good, 5 times as good. And that's how bad it was last season. But yeah, Cole Palmer is a great player and João Felix is an upgrade in the team. And I can see Chelsea selling Sterling again because he's on big wages. That's the reason we got rid of him. 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, I think João Felix makes his team better. That's ultimately what people want. Does this team get better with João Felix? Yes. I rest my case. No, I don't even think this is much of a debate. That doesn't mean he's an unbelievable player. It just means he was better than what we have. But I like Felix. I think he's a good player. If we go deeper in the Conference League, do you think we'll see more and more of the first team? Absolutely, especially in the final. I don't think you'll see João Felix starting ahead of Cole Palmer in that game, or defensively dropping Levi Colwell, for example. I think we'll see our strongest team in the final, in the semi-final, etc. But right now, we need to give other players a chance to show what they're worth, and I hope they do. What do you mean, the link for the vlog? Is that what you're talking about? What do you mean? Ben Chilwell is definitely not getting any minutes. No, he's not getting any minutes. Listen, the guy had he was given pity minutes by Enzo Maresca for the Barra game. Let's just make this really clear, guys. I don't think that Enzo Maresca is entirely the reason that Ben Chilwell has been frozen out of his team. I do think it has something to do with the ownership. I think it has something to do with the fact that he was from the Abramovich regime. People then go, hang on a second, but what about Reece James? I think it's different with players like Reece James because they're homegrown players. It's good for the brand. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of an owner. I think that they just want to get rid of Chilwell. He's not available a lot of the time. He's been injured. And to be quite frank, he has declined in terms of performances last season. We can't sit here and say Ben Chilwell was good last year. And they just need to cut the wages, don't they? So if you can get 200 grand a week off the books and then sign another player like you did with Gusto for 50 grand a week, that's financially very smart. But then you need someone who's going to perform as well. So there you go. But I think our recruitment's been better than people give it credit for. I really do. Enzo press conferences at 4:15 today. There you go. I won't be able to watch it because I'll be working from 4 o'clock. But I will check it out later on in the day. And yeah, we'll have a little preview show coming out later round the corner, which is usually Nina's show. I'm covering for her tonight. So if you want to watch that, that'll be out this evening. And then hopefully the CFTV preview show with Kev and Lewis will be out tomorrow morning. Fingers crossed, providing Lewis and Kev actually want to record. But I think they do. We just can't get the timing together. It's a great signing that we signed Felix. It's an upgrade at Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. I think I've already read this comment out. You want to join the panel? To be honest, Toboga, we're not doing a panel for this stream, but I will be doing a call-out show, a call-in show after the Panathinaikos game. So if you want to join the day after the game, even though I will be running on very little sleep, I will do a call. I'll do a call-in show, so you can call in and we can discuss. I'll free up a couple of hours for the show. We're on 38 likes. We've got 52 people in the building. Can we get up to 50 likes, please? How do you say please in Greek? I don't know. I'll look it up in a second. Can we get up to 50 likes, guys? Big up to everyone in the chat. So yeah, João Felix is going to be starting in this game. To be honest with you guys, I'm not expecting a lot from João Felix. I'll be honest with you. I have higher expectations for Mudryk. I have higher expectations for Neto. I'll be really surprised if Felix balls out in this game. I think he'll have good moments. But again, it's what we've said, right? We've struggled with the consistency. So I can't sit here and say that I'm certain I'm going to see a good performance from João Felix. We literally just spoke about the fact that he's been inconsistent since he's played for us. But we knew that when we signed him. It's all about moments with this player. The question is, can we have a moment on Thursday? We'll find out. So let's go over the squad. We are almost done. All right. We got Robert Sanchez in goal because Jorgensen, I don't think, will be available for this game. We're having Vega on the left, Gusto on the right-hand side. Badiashile partnered up with Disasi in the middle. We need to see a good performance from Disasi. Otherwise, he's definitely getting dropped for tossing in the next game, the next Conference League game or Cup game. And Badiashile, he deserves the minutes. He made a great impact against Liverpool when he came on. Enzo Fernandez in the number 6. I want to see him playing in his proper position. Give him a chance to play where he thrives. Dewsbury Hall in the 8. making the runs. Nice to see if he can get on the score sheet or get an assist as well. I think Dewsbury Hall is growing into this role at Chelsea. Mudryk on the left, Neto on the right, with João Felix just in behind the striker. So the question is, who do we play up top? We're not going to see Jackson because he played a full 90. So really, you're looking between Christopher Nkunku and Mark Guiu. I think we can all agree that the most likely candidate is Nkunku. So, yeah, big up to Nkunku, who I think has been a much better player for Chelsea than some people give him credit for. I mean, the guy has not been given much of a chance in the Premier League, has he? He's basically been told you're second fiddle from the get-go, which you could say is insulting, but also he is going to play a lot of minutes and he's still coming on as a sub to make an impact. It's not like he's not involved whatsoever in the Premier League games, but yeah, it must be frustrating for him, right? He's a top player. He's been called up for France. He clearly has the quality to excel in this team. And to be honest with you, I think he's just as capable of Jackson of bagging many goals this season. But yeah, we just haven't seen it. We haven't seen him being given a full run out in the Premier League. And I don't think that has anything to do with his goal scoring ability. I think that is because of what he does off the ball and what Nicholas Jackson does off the ball. Just very different players. Yeah. So for me, this is a perfect game for Nkunku. We're going to have a lot of the ball. I can't imagine Panathinaikos coming out to play. But then again, I haven't watched much Greek football, so I might be chatting utter rubbish. But I think that we dominate the ball and Panathinaikos take a relatively safe approach. Their record has not been anything special. They'll be happy with a draw in this game. Yeah, so if we can get that first goal, I think they'll be open. And Nkunku, for me, he'll be fantastic. We already know he's going to be brilliant. I can imagine him getting a goal, maybe even two. I would love to see an absolute demolition in Athens on Thursday. If we go in and win the game 1-0, it's respectable because we get a clean sheet. If we go and win 3-0, we give everyone in this team the confidence that they need. Not just that you're good enough in the Premier League, that the team that are playing on the Thursday nights can actually progress and come into that A side. They are capable of doing it. Because if you can't get clean sheets against these teams, if you can't score lots of goals against these teams, it's hard to justify why you would drop anyone else in the first team. Have I seen Bavs and Lee Gunners beef? No, I have no idea about that. To be honest with you, I don't watch any of it. Yeah, don't watch it. Don't really know. Yeah. You'd like to see Guiu. I think Guiu would be nice to see as well. Listen, we might see him come off the bench, but it's unlikely that he starts this game. Dazino says he will score a brace. I probably agree with you, to be fair, mate. He's been fantastic in every cup competition he's played. Jordan says, I would have seen Caicedo and Lavia in the squad, but disappointing that Lavia is not in the competition. What a partnership them two have. Yeah, I mean, the reason he's not starting is we're trying to take care of him. So I don't have a problem with that. Listen, towards the later stage of the competition, we'll see more players coming in. But it's good to rotate. You have such a big squad. Why not make the most of it and rotate the players that you have? But yeah, Nkunku is a top baller. He is a top baller. And I do think he is in a very, very difficult position. We can all agree that he's a better player than Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, technically he's a better player. He's a better goal scorer. He's more creative than Nicholas Jackson. But it's just the movement and the runs that makes a huge difference. I think that any manager in modern football will value players who just do what they want them to do exactly to the T. And then if you've got the quality on top of that, it's like the cherry on top. It's a bonus. But for me, Nkunku, when you're playing against these teams, you got a lot of the ball. He can break down defenses. He can find spaces as well. Not to say that he's not good at getting into positions. He's fantastic, but he's just a different type of player, isn't he? How many Chelsea supporters do you reckon are coming tomorrow? That's a great question. How many Chelsea supporters for Panathinaikos away? Let's see. Okay, 3,000. Let me share my screen with you. There you go, boys. 3,310 away fans. Panathinaikos are one of the most passionate fan bases in European football, and with a capacity of approximately 75,000. Expect the atmosphere next Thursday to be electric, especially for the visit of the two-time European champions. What is the Chelsea allocation? Chelsea have been given an allocation of 3,310 for the trip to Athens. That's a pretty good. That's pretty good. But for a capacity of 75,000, I don't think you're going to hear us. The Greek fans are pretty awesome. So, yeah, I mean, big up to all the Chelsea fans who are going to come up for that game. But I think, I think the Greek fans are going to be unbelievable, to be fair. Really, really intimidating. Remember the Panathinaikos game is afternoon game here in the UK. 5:45 p.m. That is correct. If you're in Greece, though, it's about 2 hours ahead. If I'm not wrong, I got an email saying it's about 7:45 Greek time, which is quite frustrating as well because actually I have a flight at 1 a.m. From Athens coming back to London, because then I don't have to pay for accommodation, do I? So it just seems like the smart thing to do. So it's just cutting things a little bit fine, because if the game's, let's just say 2 hours, 7:45, 8:45, 9:45, 10 o'clock, I got 3 hours to catch my flight. And usually in these away games, they keep you in the stadium for about an hour after. So I've got to be careful. I actually shit myself a little bit just thinking about that. But yeah, that would be good fun. I agree with you. And Kunku on the wing doesn't work. He needs to be in the 10 or as a 9. They both work. Yes, I do think Mudryk will play. He is in my my starting 11 for tomorrow. Oh, you'll be in school, man. That sucks. How much would accommodation be? I think we would be looking around £200 for the night. 200 euros, probably, maybe 300, because there's so many Chelsea fans going out there. You can imagine the hotels have put their prices up. The flights went up. The prices, for everything like that. It's just ridiculous. I'll tell you this story. When the draw came out, I was in Oxford. My girlfriend's family live in Oxford. Yeah. And I saw that we had Panathinaikos. I went, right, okay, let's get this booked. I called my friend Cam. I'm going to Greece. Do you want to come with me? Because I don't really want to travel on my own. It's fun if you go with your friends. He said, yeah, but I don't have the money, Alex. I don't think I can do it. I said, you know what, Cam? I've got the money. I'll cover you. Just pay me back. Yeah, pay me back. The flight started off around £480. Now, I didn't have my card. Yeah. So I usually use like Apple Pay and stuff like that. You can just double tap on your phone and use a Face ID. On a computer, use your finger if you've got a Mac, like a finger scan. Like, these things just save. I don't really remember all the passwords and things like that. But for some reason, my card wasn't working. So I then said to my girlfriend, oh my God, the flight, they're going to go up. The prices are going to go up. Can you get your card? She was like, oh my days, I've left my card at my house, which is not in Oxford. So the flights have gone from 480 to 550 to about 600 in maybe 25 minutes. So who did I call? Charlie, I need some help. Please, can you do me a favor? I need to... Can you pay for my flights to Greece? Can you pay for them? I'm going to pay you back straight away. I've got the money. Don't worry. But can you cover me? Because it's going to go up to 700. And big up to Charlie. He sorted me out. He did sort me out. And he got paid back, obviously. But yes, if it wasn't for Charlie, I would have ended up paying a lot more. So big up to Charlie. And I appreciate the help from him. Charlie will not be going to the game. He couldn't get a ticket for this one. But I'm speaking with them at the moment. We might be going to Germany together for the Heidenheim game. Is it Heidenheim? That's how you pronounce it. The game in Germany. So, yeah, hopefully me and Charlie can go to that one. We need to get tickets first. And I am trying to figure out the logistics of Kazakhstan. So maybe I need to start a GoFundMe because the flights they're expensive flights, but it's all worth it for Chelsea, isn't it? It's all worth it. I love it. It's 70K capacity. I think, according to what I just read, the capacity is, it says approximately 75,000. Do we have an exact number? Panathinaikos Stadium capacity. What? What? This can't be right. Well, to be honest with you, Cover, I wasn't certain, but I just know a lot of people that can get tickets. So I just guessed that I'd be able to get one, and I did. So that was nice. Yeah, what's going on here, guys? Maybe am I doing something silly? Ignore my typing, but it says 40,000. That can't be right. What am I talking about? Set for completion in 2026. So that stadium hasn't been built yet. I'm confused. So I've spent stadium wrong. Stadium capacity. Where's this? I'm so confused. It doesn't have the number. Why doesn't the number come up? I'm just going to have to try. I mean, the article that we read said they had about 75,000. One of you in the chat, Alexandros, has said 70,000. And to be fair, you've got a Greek name. So I'm believing Alexandros. I believe you. Am I going to Noah's Ark? Yes, I am going to Noah's Ark. Search up OCA Stadium. Okay, let's just try that. How do you spell that? It's just OAKA. It is. What's going on with this? Why can't they just give me the capacity? They do make this complicated, the internet. Why can't it just tell me the number? Main Olympic Stadium. Oh, that's a big one. Is that the one? Oka. 69,618 seats. So I think that's the one. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. Bear with me. It's over here. Yeah. So that's where we are. Big up to you, Alexandros. Thank you, mate. Big up, Alex, my friend. Keep up the good work, my friend, and keep hitting the like button and sub to the channel, people. Yes, I appreciate it, guys. How many likes are we on? Can we get up to 50 likes? Or can we get up to 60 likes? Let's see if we can get up to 60 likes as well. Borat will hook you up with accommodation. Very nice. Yes, Kazakhstan, here I come. Love from India. Big up to you, my friend. Big up the Blues from Jordan. Great country is Greece. 46 likes. Can we get 4 more likes, please? 4 more likes on the video. Guys, I just want to give a quick shout out as well. You may or may not have heard of these guys. It's Omely. All right. So if you don't know who Omely are, the QR code is here. There's also a link in the description. You don't have to pay for it. It's totally free. It's an app that I'm working with at the moment. So you can literally download it on your phone. Yeah, it looks like this. So you open it up and then it's a bit like, I guess it's a bit like Twitter. You know, you've got Twitter Spaces. You can have your own profile with like an AI generated picture. So that's quite funny. And yeah, you can connect with different people in the football world. This is an app designed just for football fans. So if you are a football fan, which I'm guessing the majority of you are, download Omely, check it out. You can scan the QR code to do it, or you can click the link down below. And then, yeah, follow me on Omely and we can actually have a chat. I'm planning on going live this evening to preview the game. I know some of you wanted a panel show, which I'm not doing on YouTube, but we will have a panel show on Omely. So if you want to come and speak with me on there about the game, I'm happy to speak with anyone who pops on. So it's totally free. Download it, check it out. We have now hit 50 likes. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate that. Thank you, Daniel. Cover, you have to shoot off. Hope you have a good one, mate. Big up to everyone else. To be honest, I've got to shoot as well. Listen, first of many we did the other day with the lives. I will be doing plenty more of this. I've kind of learned that this is just the way you've got to do it. I can't get my point across in 10 minutes. If you do loads of 10-minute videos, it just doesn't work. So I like the live aspect. I think it's nice to connect with you guys as well. Daniel says, what is your score prediction? Score prediction. I predict that we will concede. And I predict that we will score 2 goals. I think we'll win this game 2-1. I don't think that we keep a clean sheet. I think that somebody makes a mistake. Or there's pace in behind and Disasi gets caught out, for example, because I do think he's probably the weak link in our defense if he does start. And I think that Neto scores in this game, and I think Nkunku scores. So yeah, that's my score predictions. Big up to everyone in the chat. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. I will be streaming after the Panathinaikos game. I'll do this the day after. It will be a call-in show. So come in. It will be around lunchtime. Give your thoughts. Let me know what you think. We can have a nice long chat about what we've seen. And if you want to join me later on, you can join me on Omely. So scan the QR code, download the app. There's a link in the description as well. You can join me on Omely. I will be streaming on there tonight. All the best, guys, and let's catch up very, very soon.